Hello, this is Tamala Malay, your empowerment partner, professor, and psychic. And today is Monday, July 22nd, 2024. And I wasn't planning on doing a video this morning. You can tell I'm just kind of in my sweats and hanging out. But Spirit was really insistent that I come on and do a video about Harris and her presidential bid. We're going to phrase it that way. So I have some cards here that I can pull if we need to. Where do I want to start? So, and here's the thing, it's not really important where I want to start, where Spirit want to start. Okay, so there's questions about who her VP partner is going to be. And if you follow me and have been over, in all of my socials, then you already know I did a couple weeks ago a live or a video in my Facebook group where we talked about this 2 weeks ago. And Spirit said that the highest vibrational alignment would be for the election for 2024 would be Harris and Buttigieg. However, we all know it's going to be hard enough for people in swing states to elect a Black woman on her own, right? Just because she's a Black woman, because we all know swing states, the reason that swing states are because they have some issues. And when I say issues, I'm talking about how they're not really 100% for the good of all beings, the good of Mother Earth, the highest vibration, right? Because if they were, that's what they would be choosing. There wouldn't be a swing, right? It would be what it is. And so, this is the Truth Talk station. So remember, that's what I do here. I don't do a lot of schmoozing. We talk about the truth. Where's the thing? Truth talks. So swing states really are going to be, as usual, the place where the election is determined, because the communities that have already decided whether they're for the evolution of the planet or not for the evolution of the planet, and they've already decided, So those are not really up for discussion. They're not up for, who's gonna vote. You're not gonna see a huge swing in those places. It's the places that they call purple states, the ones that are in between. Well, they have some population that's for the evolution and some population that's against the evolution, and they're pretty well matched, 50-50. Okay? So in a place where it's already 50-50, where they don't necessarily have an identification that they are absolutely for the evolution of the planet, they're for taking care of the earth, they're for taking care of their fellow human beings, they're living the orders that Christ gave them to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, take care of the widows and the orphans, right? They're living that and doing that and voting for things like free lunches for people who can't afford them, for universal health care, all that stuff, right? Okay. There are the people that are not on board with that, but that are open to things like abortion care is health care, okay? That are issue voters, okay? Those are the people that they need to be looking for. And we already know Kamala is for health care. She's for abortion care. She's for the rights of women to make their own choices. She's for She's for all of that. So as far as single issue voting is concerned, she's going to be able to step out and speak on those things, right? Where she stands on all the single issues: the environment, um, Israel and Palestine, um, the war in Russia and Ukraine, abortion, the environment, healthcare, right? She already has a platform for those things. She already knows what she's going to say about those things. So those also are not the people that she's going to have to fight for. The people that she's going to have to fight for are the people who mistakenly believe that the president is the ruler and does everything in the United States government. And this has been perpetuated by the news media and those that are always blaming the president for every little thing that happens. Okay. And we talked about this before, that if there's anything to do with money or laws, that's Congress. That's not the president. Congress makes the laws, signs them into law, and then spends the money. Okay, that's their job. The president just approves it or tries to disapprove it by a veto power. And the problem is, no matter who the president is, as a Democrat or a Republican, if they don't have enough people in Congress, which is the Senate and the House of Representatives, to foster their platform, then they're not going to get anything done. And that has been proven the last 4 years, absolutely 100%, without question, 3.5 years. Because there's been a lot of things that the Democratic platform have wanted to get passed, but could not get passed because the laws and the money have to go through Congress. So don't think that just because you vote for Harris, that means the whole world is going to change. Or just because you don't think that if you vote for Harris, the world is not going to change. Because here's the deal. You got to vote the whole ticket, from your school boards to your governors, and lieutenant governors, and secretaries of state, and election officials, and agricultural leaders, and your senators, and your representatives, and your president, and your vice president. Okay, you got to vote all of them. And the problem is getting everyone to vote for all of those things has been really super difficult the last 16, 20 years. People are voting for presidents, but then not voting down ballot on the same ticket. Meaning, they might vote for Biden for president, but they didn't vote for Biden for anything. I mean, for Democrats for anything else. Okay? That's why the last 3.5 years have been a mess. It's because the down ballots were not voted for. So that's one issue. Another issue is in the purple states, in the states where the electoral college is up for grabs. If you have 50-50, 50 for the evolution, 50 not for the evolution of the planet, 50 doing Christ's work, and 50% saying they're doing but not really doing, they're taking the Lord's name in vain, then how do you go after those when a lot of those communities, because what you want to do is you want to get the people that either don't vote, that think their vote doesn't matter, or that are currently voting against the evolution of the planet. how do you get them to vote for you? How do you get them to vote for Harris? Well, there's going to be a lot of them that are not for the evolution of the planet. That there's no possible way they're going to vote for a black woman. Number one, she's black. Number two, she's a woman. Never going to happen. Okay, we just need to acknowledge that that's real. Nothing we can do about that. So the ones that she can do things about, she's going to do with her single issue information. And the biggest one that she can have a more powerful movement around is the people who have not voted, don't plan to vote, or who have come to believe that their vote doesn't matter. Those are the people she needs to go after. And the way she needs to go after them is to educate them on why it's so important that they take their power back in this election. Because people who don't vote or feel like their vote doesn't matter, the reason they feel that way is because they feel disempowered. They feel less than. They feel like they don't have the ability to make a change in their life or in the life of the nation. And that's wrong. That's BS. That's not true. They do, they can, and they are the people who she needs to go after. Okay? And the way that she can do that is literally educating people on why their vote matters and how they can vote and getting them registered and getting them to the polls and making sure they have the appropriate identifications and they get to the right polling places and so forth, right? The Democrats have already have all of that in place. They just need to launch that in mega doses in all of the purple states. Okay, mega doses. All the volunteers that they've got in all of these places that they already know they're going to win. Yes, they need to have people out there. Yes, she needs to go and talk to them. Yes, she needs to woo them, blah, blah, blah. But they are not the ones that she has to woo. And the wooing comes from empowering those people, right? She needs to empower the people who don't believe that they have the power to vote, that their vote matters. Okay? All right, so that's part one. Now, there's a lot of question about who her running mate is going to be. Again, Spirit had said that the optimal highest vibration would be Harris and Buttigieg. The problem is, in those purple states, if they're not going to vote for a black woman, two strikes against her, they're certainly not going to vote for a gay man. Okay? That actually might get more Trump supporters out to vote against Harris and Buttigieg, just simply because he's gay. Because remember, these folks are against the evolution of the planet. They don't want unity. They don't want acceptance of others. They will go out of their way to hate people. And so who better to hate than a gay man and a black woman? So do I think, you don't care what I think, does Spirit, Spirit has said that that would be the highest vibrational grouping at this time. So if Kamala selected Pete Buttigieg as her running mate for the November 2024 election, and I know I'm moving ahead as if she's the person, so we'll get to that in a minute, but we're going to do, this question first. If she chooses Pete Buttigieg as her vice president, is it possible that she'll win the election in November? Yes. Is it probable? No. Okay. So, what is the possibility percentage that she could win? She and Pete Buttigieg would win in November. 54%. Okay. There's a 54% potential that Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg could win the election. And when I say that, I'm talking about in the scheme of elections. I'm not talking about 54 against Trump. I'm just talking about from 0 to 100 possibility that she could win. It's 54%. That's not very high. Okay. So if she ran against Trump, is it possible that Harris and Buttigieg would win? Yes. Is it probable? No. So what is the percentage of possibility that Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg as a ticket will win or could win? What is the possibility that they could win against Trump in 2024? All right, there's a 44 to 45, maybe 46% possibility that she could win, that Kamala and Buttigieg could win against Trump. That's not a high enough percentage, okay? And here's the thing. It's a possibility, not a probability. I work in energy. And so when I'm looking at information, what I'm doing is I'm looking at the energetic pathways of possibility and probability. And so as a possibility, that means there is an avenue available for that to happen. As a probability, that means that not only is there an avenue for that to happen, but there's momentum for that to actually occur. Like there's actual support in place for it to occur. And for both of those, there's not yet a probability for them to win. So ideally, while Spirit has said that's the highest vibrational choice, it's not the most conducive choice at this moment for electability. Doesn't mean it won't be in the future. Maybe next time. So let's look at the folks that people have said that are potential vice presidential picks. Okay, these are just ones. Now, I'm not, as you know, I am not. I don't follow politics and all of these people. Like I'm generally knowledgeable about it, but as a person, like this is not what I do. I don't like spend my time doing politics, and we're just in it because this is what this is where we are. And so the first person is Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. He's been in politics for a while. He could bring, what the commentary is that he could bring extra votes in swing states. All right, so let's ask about Governor Josh Shapiro. Okay, so if Kamala Harris chose Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, is it a possibility that she could win? Yes. Is it a probability? No. Possibility. All right. So there's a 58% possibility that Kamala could win with Josh Shapiro as her VP at this moment. Okay. Possibility. Is there a probability? Okay, there is a small probability. What's that probability? 28% probability, which means he has enough gumption, energetic gumption behind him that he could actually bring in some. So he's a possibility. And I'm not keeping up with any of this, so hopefully you're writing it down. The next one, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. He has been a senator since 2020. And before that was a NASA astronaut and a Navy combat pilot. And he's married to former Representative Gabby Giffords. So, and he is in Arizona, I think. He took over John McCain's seat. So where is that? Yeah. Okay. So Representative Kelly. No, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. Okay. So what is the probability or possibility? Is there a possibility? Is there a probability? Okay. There is a probability that Harris, let me frame the question first. Okay. So if Kamala Harris were to choose Arizona Senator Mark Kelly as her vice president, is there a possibility that they could win the election in November 2024? Yes. Is there a probability? Yes. Okay. What is the possibility? All right, there's an 86% possibility that she could win, that the two of them could win together. And there's a probability, which means there's some momentum there. So let's see what that is. All right, there's a 48% probability that she could win with Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. Also, um, here's the thing with him, it's different than the last one. The last one brings his own momentum and his own fundraising and all that. Mark Kelly also has that, but he also has this. He has this embodiment of. I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to explain it. He has an embodiment of masculinity that women prefer. And what that means is his wife got shot, he took care of her. He takes care of her well. And he doesn't disempower her, he empowers her, he respects her. All of these things that we've seen are very, they're very new masculine. I know it's not new, but I don't know the word for it. He's the kind of man that women would like to have as a husband if something happened to them. Okay. And to be honest, most women don't have it. So he brings that as well. There's an element to his masculinity that's non-threatening that also is uplifting for women. So he would actually be a great partner for her if he were on the ticket. Like that is a believable, functional partnership where he could support her and back her up well. Okay, and that is Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. Okay, so let's move to the next one. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Okay, she's been the governor since 2019. She was a House of Representatives and in the Michigan Senate. All right, so let's see. For the November 2024 election in America, is there a possibility that Kamala Harris as president and Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer as vice president could win? Possibility yes, probability yes. Okay, what's the percentage possibility? All right, there's a 47% possibility that they could win, that Harris and Whitmer ticket could win. Now, the probability, what's the probability for that one? 25, 28%. Okay, so here's the thing with this one. We already talked about the difficulty that Kamala is going to have in the swing states, being a black woman, 2 strikes against her. If she also has a female vice president, yes, it's going to enthuse the Democrats and the independents that want female leadership, but there are so many, again, folks in these purple states that are against the evolution on the planet. They're not going to want 2 women running things, right? They're going to want, this is a terrible thing to say, but this is what they're going to want. They're going to want, okay, well, if you put a female up there, she's got to have a good man behind her because she's going to do what the man tells her to do. Okay? Any of the folks who are within a religious system that believes that the man is the leader of the family is going to think that. Okay? They just are. It's subconsciously programmed into them. They're going to think that. So having 2 women on the ballot is going to be inconceivable for them because who's going to lead? Who's going to lead? They're just going to run amok. Even if they don't say that, that's what they're going to believe subconsciously. So I think that's a deal killer too. That's not something that's going to win those purple people. It's just not. Right now. Now, all of this is as of this date and what the energy is in the system at this time. Okay, July 22nd, 2024 at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, so let's check the next one. Okay, and if you're here, if you have any questions about what you want to know about the upcoming election, Harris, the vice presidents, and so forth, put them in the chat. I will check with Spirit and see what they have to say. All right, so the next one we're going to check is Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. He was elected governor in 2019. He was an attorney general before that. He's kind of more moderate. Okay, all right. So, all right, on the ticket for November 2024 election in the U.S., if Kamala Harris picked Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, is there a possibility that they could win over Trump? Yes. Is there a probability they could win over Trump? Yes. Okay, so what's the possibility? Okay, there's a 58% possibility they could win. Probability. There's a 30% probability that they could win. Okay, remember probability. Possibility means there's a pathway available. Probability means there's a pathway and some momentum behind it to make it happen. Okay, so there's a slight potential that he could work again. There is that bonus over Whitmer that he is not a female, unfortunately. like we just discussed, we're not there yet as a country. Convincing those purple people, because that's who we have to convince. That's who Kamala has to convince to move and to become voters. So that's less on the list. Next, we're going to go to North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper. All right, it says Cooper has served as North Carolina's governor since 2017. He was state attorney general. He's been in the Senate. Okay. All right. Let's just see what Spirit has to say. When I look at him, I get an instant result, but let's see what Spirit has to say. Again, you're not here for my my opinions. All right, let's see. So if Kamala Harris chose North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper to be her vice presidential running mate in the 2024 presidential election in the U.S., is there a possibility she could win? Yes. Is there a probability she could win? Yes. Okay, what's the possibility? All right, there's an 86% possibility that they could win. Okay. So let's see about the probability. What is the probability that they could win over Trump? All right. There's a 70%, 70 to 74% probability that she could win with Roy Cooper as her person, her vice president over Trump. Okay, and here's the thing. The reason is because the purple people, the people who are undecided, the people who have not fully moved over into the ideas that are contained in the Democratic platform, right? That they're issue voters and who have religious backgrounds would see Governor Roy Cooper as someone who is very similar to people they already know. If you look at him, he looks very much like the standard old white guy who's been a politician forever. He's kind of moderate, and he will keep her in line. And so that feels like why he might be the best one at this time. The ones we've talked about so far, he's the best possibility for an election over Trump because he doesn't appear to be that different than themselves or people that they know. He's not really liberal. He's not, he's not gonna, do these wild and crazy things, and he might keep her in check, right? Okay. Also, if he can bring North Carolina, that will be good. He also then could potentially bring more purple voters into the Democratic team because, again, he's one of them. All right. So next, we're going to do California Governor Gavin Newsom. Okay. So for the 2024 election in the U.S., Kamala Harris, as a presidential candidate, picked California Governor Gavin Newsom as her vice president on the ticket. Is there a possibility they can win over Trump? Is there a probability they can win over Trump? Okay, possibility. Okay, there's a 58 to 60% possibility that they could win over Trump. in the probability. And there's a 25 to 28% probability that they could win. Okay, the first one's possibility, means there is an open pathway. Probability means there's some gumption behind it. He is very liberal to people who are conservative. And so he would actually galvanize more people to vote for Trump than he would to vote for Kamala. Because all the liberals are already going to vote for Kamala because they know the risk and the danger, right? Again, we're talking about the purple people. He is not going to get purple people because he's too far over. He's not going to bring it. So I would say they need to pass on him. Okay. Next, we're going to check Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. I've never heard of this person. Again, if you have any questions or have any specific person you want me to check on, put that in the chat. All right, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. Okay. All right, so for the 2024 presidential election in November, if Kamala Harris chooses Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker for her vice president, is there a possibility she could win over Trump? Is there a probability? No. Possibility? No. All right, there's like a 36% possibility that she could win over Trump with this person. And there's not really a probability at all right now. It said he can self-fund. His family started the Hyatt Hotel Empire. He's second term as governor. He's been a pit bull attacking Trump. He would be a good person to send out to campaign for the party to get the Democrats riled up and keep them, knocking doors and stuff. He's not the candidate. Okay. I'm going to move on to the next one. Maryland Governor Wes Moore. So, for the November 2024 presidential election in the U.S., Kamala Harris, as presidential nominee, chose Maryland Governor Wes Moore as her running mate, as her vice president. Is there a possibility they could win over Trump? Is there a probability they could win over Trump? A possibility. There's a 40% possibility they could win over Trump. Probability. There's an 18% probability they could win over Trump. So he's not the guy. So far, and of course we know the purple people, they're not going to vote for two African American people. They're just not. Could he be amazing and awesome? Absolutely. But they're not going to do it. So he was the first black governor in Maryland. He's been a Rhodes Scholar, combat veteran, all these wonderful things, but they're not going to vote for two African Americans. It's not going to happen. All right, Buttigieg. Do we already do Buttigieg? I thought we already did Buttigieg. Again, he's ideal. He's the vibrational ideal. We're just not there yet. But, all right, for the 2024 election. For the November 2024 presidential election in the U.S., Kamala Harris as president chose Buttigieg as her vice presidential nominee. Okay, 48% possibility, probability that they would win over Trump. All right, it's 15% probability. They're not gonna, the purple people are not gonna pick a black woman and a gay man right now. It's just, it's not gonna happen. All right, so it looks like the top people that could do the best energetically, right, where the energy is, where the potentiality is right now to get those purple people to vote, get them registered to vote, get them out to vote, get them to actually vote for Kamala and her vice president would be North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, because as far as purple people are concerned, he's pretty moderate and he looks like them. He's an old white guy. Okay. And then also the next one would be Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, because he has the masculinity that is very good at supporting the feminine, uplifting it without overpowering or disempowering, and maintaining his masculinity. And so he would win over a lot of purple women. So those are my top two picks as far as, not mine, Spirit's top two energy clarifiers, that if she chooses those, there's actually in this moment the potential for her to win over Trump. Now, I know we talked a lot when we first started about all this. So if you've joined us later, it'll be awesome for you to rewatch the beginning. Sorry, it's so dark in here. I've got my lights on and everything, but it's still really dark. If you have any questions about what's coming up, go ahead and put them in the chat so I can ask. We've gone over the potential picks and the potentiality, so make sure you watch and get those. I've got some little cards here, so I'm just going to pull some little easy cards and ask. This is a question I have. Is Trump going to live to the election? I keep getting a no. Okay, I've been getting a no for 6 weeks or so, 8 weeks, maybe longer. But every time I ask Spirit, I get a no. Now, after the assassination attempt, I did a video about that, and they were very clear that there was a potential for at least 2 more incidences to occur, and that Trump could leave the planet. You know what I mean by that? Either due to the incident or as a result of the incident, meaning something could happen and he could go, or maybe he has a heart attack afterwards, right? That kind of thing. So I want to know today, because it's been, some time has passed. I want to know is, okay, first thing I'm hearing right now is everybody has free will. We know this. But there's also fate. That's all. It's literally all they just said. But there's also fate. Trump has fulfilled his intention for this lifetime. Whether you like him or not, he is doing what he came here to do. Again, he is against the evolution on the planet. He just is. He is not for Christ consciousness. And If you think he is, you're the people in the book of Revelations where they talk about being deceived. So go read that. There's a lot of stuff that's being perpetuated by religious leaders right now that is defiling the name of Christ. And that's what happens. That's what causes us to be in a state of choice so that we can decide how we as individuals want to move forward, how we want to be, how we want to show up, and what we are for and what we are against. So my question is Trump going to live to November, to election day? No, let's say the day after election day, whatever that day is, 2024. Is Trump going to live, be active, functioning, all of that between now, no, the day after election day? He's still going to be alive and fit. Right. So I'm listening right now. That's why I'm quiet. I'm listening. So the first card that jumped out is abundance. And these are my angel cards that I got that I carry with me sometimes. And it says, you will always be taken care of. So remember, Trump is currently doing his sole purpose. Him participating in the negativity, in all the things that he's doing is his sole purpose. And so the next card that jumped out is nature, and it says, lift your soul and spend time outdoors. So he has taken his place in the scheme of things. He's taken his place. He's doing his part. And then truth. Stand in your own truth. And he is absolutely 100% standing in his own truth. Okay, so that's where he is right now. And what's the next thing we need to know? Believe. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it isn't there. Right? So believe everything's going to work out. Everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to, because every person on the planet is at free will. Everybody has choice. The people that vote have choice. The people that don't vote have choice. And so it will work out. It will work out in the end, because remember, the earth is going to exist whether humans are on it or not. She's going to be just fine. She will recover. The people on the planet are either going to choose to evolve or they're not, and they'll be left behind. And that's just how it is. So Spirit's not really worried about any of that, because when we leave our body, it's not like we're extinguished. We don't cease to exist. We just get new opportunities to learn and grow, right? So it's not a big deal. So the next card is trust. Allow the angels to show you how we can move forward, which is what we're doing today. The next one is gentle. Be kind to yourself. If you start having anxiety and fear and worry, don't worry about it, okay? Be gentle with yourself. Know that there is a lot of stuff happening right now that is very stressful, and it's okay. The next one's Archangel Michael. Give you courage and strength. Know that You're going to be safe. You're going to be protected. You are going to fulfill your soul purpose. You have free will. No matter what happens in the world, everything is going to be fine and good. And we're getting to the question. Because I'm over here asking, can we answer the question, please? And so, is Trump going to be alive at the day after the election in November 2024? I keep hearing no. I keep hearing no. So, let's see. All right, so what I'm hearing is the cards that I'm drawing, because I already know the answer. They're like, you already know the answer. Why are you drawing cards? And I said, I don't know. Why am I drawing cards? And they said, because you want to know how to live after he goes. And it's like, what do you mean? And they're like, you know very well after he goes, it's going to be turmoil. It will be, there are a large number of his supporters that will become unglued. And so how do you live through that? How do you function through that? Know that you'll always be taken care of. Lift your soul. Spend time in nature and outdoors. Connect. Stand in your own truth. Know that you're choosing the highest vibrational choice for yourself. Believe. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it isn't there. Trust and allow your angels to show you how to get through whatever it is you're going through at that time. Be gentle and kind with yourself and others. And lean on Archangel Michael for courage and for strength. And then you'll find happiness, which comes from within. Comes from within, not from others. So no matter what kind of turmoil that will happen when he leaves the planet, don't worry about it. That doesn't have anything to do with you. And there will be the tendency for especially people who are empathic, who are going to feel the panic and the trauma that his followers feel. Understand that's not yours. Okay? Understand that is not yours. So don't worry about it. Okay. Is there more that you want to say about that? There's always the caveat that he does have free will. He could change his mind. He could stay longer. Just as Biden has free will. Remember, his intention was to get a black woman into office. That was his soul's intention. And that was before he even thought he was going to run for president. You know, that was the intention that he came with, was to uplift the African Americans into places of power. He supported Barack Obama, and he brought Kamala, and his intention was to get her installed as president before he left. So he's still working on that. I don't see any questions in the chat, so I'm going to leave for now. Again, sorry about the lighting. I know it makes my face look really terrible, but it be what it is. And remember that just in your everyday life, this is really good advice. Know that you'll always be taken care of by Source, by your higher self, by all that's good. Protect your soul, protect your integrity, have really good boundaries. Say no when you mean no. Say yes when you mean yes. Spend time outdoors, ground. Stand in your own truth. Believe that what it is that you intend to create or have in your experience is yours to be and do and have. Allow the angels to show you how, and when I say angels, it also means your guides, your higher self, to show you how to get where it is that you want to go. be gentle and kind with yourself and others. For courage and strength, ask for Archangel Michael. He also cuts cords and does really good clearings. And then know that your happiness comes from within and not from others. So, this has been a lot. I hope it's helpful for you. I look forward to doing these in the future. So, leave comments, even if it's just an emoji, so that YouTube knows that this is worthwhile and it's worth listening to. And then we will follow up and see how this goes, right? I'll check again in the future. I don't know when. This is always spirit led. But if you give me questions to ask, it will always be easier for me to and quicker for me to do these. So, in other words, if you leave a question today, I might jump on today or tomorrow to answer it. Okay. So again, my name is Tamala. I'm your empowerment partner, professor, and psychic. And I'm grateful you came to your empowerment place where we understand that we came here to be and do and have everything that we desire in our hearts, because it wouldn't be in our hearts if it wasn't ours already. So I'll talk with you soon. I don't know how to end. Hold on. End. See you next time.